Oh! Hello! Welcome to WoT Talk. I'm Recappa Sedai. Today on WoT Talk, we're going to talk about the Eye of the World, Chapter 3, The Peddler. In this chapter, the tea gets served. I think I'm gonna use this Mask of Mirrors for every Eye of the World episode, because Moraine. Spoiler-free recap. Padan Fain, the peddler, has come to Emond's field. He stops his wagon in front of the Wine Spring Inn. There's a cloud of villagers around him. They're all freaking out. They want tea, they want needles, they want books. Most importantly, they want news from the outside world. It's a big deal when Padan Fain comes because these people don't get out much. The village council comes out of the inn, everyone kind of makes way for them. Padan Fain loves being in the spotlight. He takes his sweet time getting his wagon settled. The village council's like, we'll wait. Rand and Mat sneak up behind the village council so they can get a good view. It's super loud, there's all this commotion, and then their buddy Perrin Abara shows up. Aw, Perrin! Our boys are together. Perrin's like, hey, it's gonna be such a good bell time, right? He's shouting. Rand's like, what? I can't hear you. I said it's gonna be such a good bell time. Oh, you don't even know. What? Yeah, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. The crowd falls silent just as Rand is shouting this. Everyone's looking at him. Padan Fain's like, oh, hell no, you're not gonna steal my thunder. Focus on me, people. I'm the peddler. I'm ready to tell my story. He goes into a speech where he just belittles all the hardships of these villagers. Oh, you think you've had a bad winter? You should see the winter in the borderlands. Oh, you think you have wolves? You should see the wolves everywhere else. They're bigger and meaner. Anyway, there are worse things than wolves eating people. There's a pause, and Senbui's like, okay, I'll bite. What would be worse? War. That's right, war. There is war in Galedawn, people. What? War? Why would they be having a war? Who does that? Oh, I'm not sure why, except maybe the standard of the dragon has been raised. What? What? The dragon? And everyone loses it. The dark one is loose. The dragon is not the dark one. It's a false dragon. Gran Alvira's like, okay, calm down. Everyone calm down. They can't. The dragon is as bad as the dark one. When the dragon is reborn, your worst nightmares seem like the dragon in 5 years. What is happening? These are evil times. Matt's just like, this is amazing. Finally, Senbui's like, well, I didn't hear him say it was a false dragon. Is it a false dragon, Padan Fain? Padan Fain is like, oh, I don't really know anything except that he can channel. And I can't believe I forgot this. The Aes Sedai are involved. Drops the mic. The Emond's fielders are like, what? What? Except for Mat, who's like, this is the best day of my life. Ewan Fingar's like, but he'll go mad. Only women can channel. Ewan, why are you still here? Shut the up, Senbui. You know what, Tam? I don't think I will. Everyone is losing it. Look at the wolves. Look at what's been happening. Oh, you want me to be quiet? Anyway. I'm not gonna be quiet. And Bran is like, shut up. Everyone just shut up. And they do. This is a matter for the village council. We have some questions. We're gonna talk to Padan Fain inside the inn. The rest of you can do your shopping and ask your questions later. The peddler goes inside the inn. Bran is like, all of you go home. He shuts the door. The villagers disperse, leaving Rand, Mat, and Perrin in front of the inn. Mat's like, that was epic. Do you think we might get to meet the false dragon? Perrin's like, why would you even say that? I hope this all stays far away from Emond's field. Matt's like, I heard this story once from this dude. The dragon will be reborn in our time of greatest need and he'll save us all. He also said that the dragon's gonna destroy the world. Perrin's like, well, that doesn't make sense, so you should find a different source for your news. I'm just telling you what I heard. They get into a debate about whether Aes Sedai are dark friends. Matt's like, Billy Conger thinks Aes Sedai are just a story. Perrin's like, yeah, because Billy Conger's a moron. Billy Conger named the Dark One. I bet you didn't know that. What? No, that's crazy. Yep, and right after his crops got diseased and his family got a fever. Now when I ask him to name the Dark One, he throws something at me. Clearly naming the Dark One is bad, so why is Mat asking people to do it? Because he's Mat. And this voice shouts out, reading him, you're just stupid enough to do that, aren't you, Mat from Coffin? And we meet Nynaeve Almiera, the wisdom of Emond's Field. Yes! Yes! I like Nynaeve. Nynaeve is shook. You're asking people to name the Dark One? Everyone knows Billy Conger's an idiot. I expected better from you. You're still a child. She's not wrong about that. Rand is so surprised that Nynaeve is there, it takes him a minute to realize Egwene is there too. Woo! Yes, Egwene! That made a huge mess, but I needed to do it. Nynaeve's pissed. Do you want to explain to me why you're talking about something no one should be talking about? Oh, Wisdom, we're sorry, you don't understand. Padan Fain just told everyone there's war in Galedawn because of a false dragon. What else would we be talking about? The village council is questioning Padan Fain right now. Nynaeve is like, oh, Seriously, the village council doesn't know what questions to ask. This is a matter for the women's circle. And Nynaeve goes into the inn to handle it. Matt and Perrin kind of wander off to the side, leaving Rand and Egwene by themselves. Egwene is like, Rand, why are you getting yourself involved in Matt's dumbass shenanigans? Rand's like, will you dance with me tomorrow? Yeah, I can dance with you in the afternoon. I'm gonna be busy in the morning. Busy? What do you mean? Egwene draws back her hood, shows Rand her hair, and it's braided. She's old enough to get married. She's going to be dancing at the spring pole with all of the other eligible bachelorettes. Rand's like, well, just because you're old enough to get married doesn't mean you should right away. Egwene's like, no, of course not. Or maybe ever. Rand's like, what do you mean, ever? Well, very few wisdoms ever get married. A wisdom? You're Nynaeve's apprentice. She's gonna be the wisdom for another 50 years. You're just gonna be her apprentice your whole life? Egwene's like, no. There are other villages where I could be a wisdom. Duh. Rand's like, but I would never see you again. Would you care? Because you haven't really given any signs that you would. Egwene, this is silly. You can't just go be a wisdom somewhere far away. No one does that. Only weirdos do that. Egwene's like, well, maybe I'm a weirdo. Maybe I want something more than a Two Rivers life. Did you ever think about that? Rand's like, yeah, I've thought about it. I have daydreams all the time. I know the difference between fantasies and reality. Egwene's like, excuse me? What, I don't know the difference? What, I'm just talking about myself. Why are you upset? You know what, Rand? Whatever. Matt and Perrin come back over. Matt's super excited. Get this, Moiraine gave Perrin a coin too, and Perrin saw the Hooded Rider. Perrin's like, yes, I saw him. I told Master Luhan about it. By the way, Master Luhan is the blacksmith. Perrin is his apprentice, which means Perrin's got big arms. He thought I was just seeing shadows. But later, I saw Master Luhan carrying around his biggest hammer. Master Luhan, if you think I'm seeing shadows, why are you carrying that hammer? Wolves? Which Perrin's like, there's a chance he did believe me. And Egwene's like, what are you guys talking about? Oh my god, Egwene, we literally forgot you were here. Matt and Perrin tell her about the Hooded Rider, and Egwene's like, that's stupid. People are already spreading around scary rumors, and you're making it worse? People ride horses, it's not a scary thing. Nynaeve's right, you're all children. Rand's like, hey, you know what? I saw what I saw. All of a sudden, the inn's door bursts open, and this dude with shaggy white hair comes out, and I really want to talk about him, but that's the next chapter. What are you gonna do? The next part of the video is the 13th Depository. I'm not going to hold back on spoilers, so if you haven't read all of the books, I recommend not watching any further. I don't want to spoil it for you. These books are too good for that. Also, if you haven't read the books, it'll just sound crazy. I pronounce this meeting sealed to the flame. Thank you to everyone who left comments last week. It was fabulous. The light illumine all of you. I brought up the question, how is Moiraine so confident that the dragon is in the Two Rivers? One thing I completely forgot is it says in the Koreathon cycle, he will be of the ancient blood, raised by the old blood. The old blood being blood of Manetheren, Tishar Manetheren. Tishar Manetheren! Thank you, Troy, for bringing that up. My brown sister Aradia mentioned Moiraine had heard a story about a soldier finding a baby on a mountain. I mean, there you go. And Courtney brought up that Moiraine has been asking about the boys' birthdays. Rand, Matt, and Perrin were all born within the 10 days that Moiraine has narrowed it down to. No doubt, the birthdays are a big deal. Part of why I ask how Moiraine can be so sure is Nynaeve lies to her. It says all 3 boys were born in the Two Rivers. You just can't bullshit Moiraine. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts, educating me. It was really fun to read. I loved it. I've got to talk about Egwene. Everyone, I love Egwene. I do. I love Egwene. I'm sorry about it. No, I'm not sorry about it. But we'll talk. Egwene. The Gathering Storm, thank God, came out right before I finished Knife of Dreams, so I was able to read it in sequence with the other 11 books. Then I had to wait a year for Towers of Midnight. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'd never had to wait for a Wheel of Time book before. I had always been afraid to look at what people were saying online because I didn't want to be spoiled. I had read all of the books that were out. So for the first time, I went online, I started looking up all of the theories, read it. I got really into the fandom and what people were saying. People hate Egwene. I had no idea. I couldn't believe it. Especially because I had just finished The Gathering Storm, and Egwene in The Gathering Storm? I'm sorry. What a book for her. The next time I read through the series, I saw it. There are moments. I stand by loving her. I always will. The way you feel about a character the first time you read a book kind of stays with you. I love in this chapter when Egwene tells Rand, maybe I'll never get married. I'm gonna go be a wisdom somewhere else and do whatever the hell I want. It might not involve getting married. I love that for her. I wish she had said that to Gawain. If you have thoughts on what Egwene does throughout the series that makes you angry, makes you happy, email them to letsgetreal@gmail.com. I am always down to talk about Egwene. I ran out of tea a while ago. We gotta talk about Padan Fain. At this point, Padan Fain has been made a Hound of the Dark One. He met Baalzamon and was turned into a hound to find the Dragon Reborn. Taken back to Shayol Ghul, where the information he had gathered was distilled. What happened to Padan Fain was really bad, but we never know exactly what went down. Near the end of the Eye of the World, we get this from Moiraine. Fain did not like what was done to him at Shayol Ghul. He screamed often of fire and burning. It is the things done to bring about those changes that Fain fears to remember. It gets even worse for him. Baalzamon came to him in a dream. Fain abased himself and performed rites that would strike you deaf to hear the half of them. Moiraine won't even say what they did to him. It's so bad. What exactly are Fain's powers, and what did they do to him to give him those powers? Sounds like some Korsuvra shit, and I love it. One more thing I've been thinking about. We know ravens and rats can spy for the Dark One, but what exactly is the process? Are there always channelers looking through their eyes? Because that's a ton of channelers. Are they all linked into the Dark One's Wi-Fi? Do they report to a Forsaken? Hey, Ishamael, it's a raven. I'm watching those two boys. Yeah, no, they f***ing threw rocks at me. Next week is Chapter 4, The Gleeman. The Gleeman? The Gleeman. The Gleeman. The Gleeman. Next week is Chapter 4, The Gleeman. I need to take a second and just thank the Wheel of Time community. You have all been so awesome. Narg at the Daily Trolloc, thank you for helping get the word out. WoT Up for featuring Wheel Talk in their recent video. I'll put a link to that in the notes. The Wheel of Time Facebook community, Unraveling the Pattern. It's just been so lovely. Thank you. I plan to keep making these videos. Any thoughts you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments or email them to letsgetwheel@gmail.com. If you can like the video, subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Get on board. We're having fun. Until next week, walk in the light and keep it wheel. That's good tea.